All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Creative Stretch Week 6. And I am so thrilled to be here with Robin Marie Smith and Minette Riordan, Dr. Minette Riordan. And I am so excited. Our conversation today is about the 3 core values of the week. And those are fun, gratitude, and harmony. Like, I just don't think that we could have a more fun combination. It's crazy. They all came up alphabetical. So whoever got what week just got the luck of the draw that week. And I think you're a pretty lucky girl.
Mm,
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Minette, which
Yes.
one of those fun, gratitude, or harmony just really reaches out to you?
Wow. Great question. I wrote them down and I think gratitude is in the center. But what I'm really curious about personally is fun and harmony together, right? Because sometimes fun can feel like energetic or even a little chaotic and there's a lot going on. I like fun that's busy and full, and yet I need a lot of harmony. We were talking before the recording about, I think all three of us are ambiverted. Certainly Robin Marie and I are. I don't know if you would consider yourself that way, Andrea, or not, both extroverted and introverted when we need to be and needing. But I realize how important harmony is to my life, like calm, still, security. Like Brad had a recent upset in his job and I thought he was going to walk away from his job. And I panicked, right? It felt like the security rug was being pulled out from underneath me. I'm fine with him leaving his job, but I need a plan. Otherwise it's like this, right? And, and it wasn't even about the finances or anything. It was just, I think that inner child in me just all of a sudden going, but wait, and what are we going to do? And that it helped me see how essential it is. Like harmony in my home in particular and in my life overall are huge for me.
Does one of them jump out to you, Robin Marie?
Yeah, actually, I probably would have said something totally different, asked at a different time, but I'm going to go with gratitude. And it's funny because I'm kind of reflecting on this a bit over the last couple months, even last few weeks, and thinking about it in terms of, I think a lot of times where we have gratitude or thankfulness towards the good things that we have in our life. And rightly so. Those are the things we appreciate. We're thankful for that. But I think it's also important, even though it's hard to say it and live it, to also be thankful for the things that are tough and the things that are hard, because I think then it makes you much more appreciate it when the things are going well. You have a different perspective. And I'm reminded of mission work that I've done, where the first time, especially when I went, I was just horrified that people lived the way they lived and how thankful I was for what I had, but how joyful they were because that's all they knew and they were very happy. In my mind, I'm thinking, how can you be happy? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just embracing and being thankful that, okay, it's not always going to be great. Things are not always going to be the way I want them to be, but that's okay because I can learn from those situations and be thankful for that, because that makes you who you are. And I think as of late, that's what I've been kind of balancing, is very thankful for the good things, but having to look at some of these things and go, oh, I need to be thankful for that too. And also in the sense that, especially from a life standpoint, is that when we deal with struggles and we go through things, it's very hard for us to relate or have empathy for someone who is dealing with that when we've never been through it. And until you do, then you're now equipped to be able to come alongside someone and be able to say, I truly have been there and I get it. And just be there and for them to know that, hey, somebody else has been through this. So, yeah.
I love all of that, but what both of you have said, and those would be my 2 picks as well. So I'm going to talk about fun.
Okay.
Because, sometimes something doesn't jump out at you and you're like, why does that not? We've had some really juicy conversations this last week, about playfulness. And to me, that is sort of something that goes hand in hand with fun, and just recognizing where I'm not having fun and what I can do about it, right? Because I have a choice. And definitely there are some times and situations where it's just not going to be fun. We had a loss of a beloved pet this last week, and that was not fun. But I can tie them all together. But the gratitude that I have had in that moment was that you know, I've honed my skills of communication, was able to tell my daughter, because that was her cat and she is away from home right now. And that was hard, but to be able to show up and be there. And I don't know where I'm going with this, with it tying into fun, but we took a drive up to a crematorium. I know it sounds kind of morbid, but it was such a delightful, fun drive to just go and be there and pick out an urn for her cat. Even in the sad times, right? We can find things to enjoy about it. So I guess that would tie more into gratitude, like Roben Marie was talking about, like that there is always something to be grateful for. But finding the moments in my day that I can point to and say, that was fun, or here's how I can make this more fun. Because I think that, fun is this, I struggle with that a lot of times. I really think, I'm work-minded and I love what I do. So don't get me wrong. It's not that work is not fun. It's just that it's work. And shifting my perspective on work can be fun. What? Work can be fun? Yes, work can be fun. So I think just, being mindful and aware of the fact that even if it's work, it doesn't mean that it can't be fun. How's that?
It's beautiful. And it brings me back to our principles, our 5 principles, right? And certainly to be playful, but also the piece about being mindful and devoted, right? And when we're mindful and devoted to what's important in our lives, we're going to have more of that, whether that's fun, gratitude, or harmony. And so I think, the 5 principles carry us through all of this. And I love all of these reflections on, because I'm still sitting with the interconnectedness of fun, gratitude, and harmony. Just has me really curious, right? So we each talked about them individually, but when my life is in harmony, I have deep gratitude, and it's fun because I'm enjoying it more. So there's this, throughout our journey through these core values, there's this sort of evolution of how I think about the interconnectedness of my values, where a lot of times it's easy to just think about them individually. But when I start to weave them together, I go, oh. And then I look at, okay, where is harmony required for fun? Or where is gratitude required for fun? And feeling more grateful reminds me the fun things that I do get to do because of my willingness to work hard, right? Like there's the payoffs. So yeah, they feel all really important and juicy in the
They are
conversation.
so interconnected. And I know that this 10 weeks is about sort of really honing in and figuring out your top values and making sure that, you're living a life that's in harmony with those, right? But what's crazy is that they are so interconnected. It's almost like this heap of core values that I'm just living my life with value, right? There are some that are at the core and that do rise up to the top, integrity being one of them for me, flexibility being one of them for me. But man, I don't know that I could say, oh, that one's not important.
Out of the 30, I don't know that I can say that, which is part of the exploration of the journey.
Yeah.
And Brene Brown in Dare to Lead talks about how you can only have one. And she said, and it's the one that you're willing to die for. Right. And so, and for her, that's vulnerability. And if you're familiar with her work at all, right, what she makes a stand for is vulnerability. And she's like, oh, well, how can it not be faith or family or in all the things that are important? And she said, vulnerability is the thing that holds all of that sacred, right? And bridges the gaps between all the other things that are important. So for me, if I have integrity
Yeah.
is the one that I would die for,
Yeah.
then I have all the other things, and I have the relationships I want, and I have the life I want, and I feel like I'm living on purpose. And without that, and the place where I've struggled with integrity is integrity with myself, around my health, around my work. You know, I'm so committed to that in my outer life, but then I can look at where am I not taking responsibility for what's happening within. And we'll have more conversations about integrity, but just that idea of what rises to the top. But Robin Marie, I'm curious, because so, you know, Andrea and I have been talking about this for months and months and months. And I'm curious about just your own thoughts on core values overall, and their relevance to your life and how you look at them or incorporate them into your regular practice.
Yeah, I don't remember how long ago it was. I guess I hadn't really thought about it, about values and core values. And I worked with, I forget exactly what it was. We were working on a project together, and that was the first thing she wanted me to do. I think it was like branding, marketing. It was just really kind of like getting this idea of, you know, your brand is what you stand for, your values. It's not just the color of your logo or, you know, your color scheme. It's so much more than that. And I don't remember who said it, but they said your branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So I don't remember who said that, but I thought, wow, that's so true, or what they think about you, right? And so I care about that. I care about how people perceive me in business. I want them to perceive me a certain way, but that is who I am. I don't want to make up something and be something different. You know, this is what I'm showing you, but that's not who I am. That's so important to me to not be that. And so we did this exercise. I think we started out with, she had me write 30 down, I think. Then I had to narrow it down to 15, and then it was 10, and then it was 5. And it really took me a long time to do it, because it was just like, but that's a good one. That's a good one. And I really had to really think about it a lot before I could get really down to it. And I think that those are reminders of when I'm making decisions about things, not just in business, but even in my creativity, but I think especially in your life, in relationships, in deciding to do something. And I can't remember if this was a conversation we had, but just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I don't know how many times I have a friend that tells me that's a great idea, but, and then we have, you know, think about it. Does that align with, is that going to be, first thing we always say is, okay, if you said yes at this moment, do you feel sick, like you're going to throw up, or do you feel excited? You know, that's sort of a gauge.
And if you feel both, you know it's good to go.
Yeah, good, awesome. We're there. We're done. I'm so glad I said yes. So it's really taking those and thinking, all right, does this align with, you know, these values that I have? And if it doesn't, and it makes me uncomfortable, then it doesn't. And I don't really want to go into detail on this example, but I was invited to participate in a project, and the project had a title that made me uncomfortable, that I didn't want to be associated with the title because of some of the words that were in the title. It's the best way I can say it. And so I had to make that decision. I really like to, but I can't, because this doesn't align with my value and what, you know, what I have developed as far as relationships with people and my business and what I want that to be. And so I think if you're always looking at that and making sure they line up, then it's sort of like, I guess you use the word harmony when you were talking about that. Then you know that you're lined up. You're like, okay, then there shouldn't be an issue here because I'm lined up with these values that I have. So yeah.
I love that so much. And that just shines through when you're speaking with a person who's authentic, and you can tell that the inside matches the outside. I'm tearing up. Like that's how beautiful that is. It just, when the insides match the outside and they are a human of integrity, you can't hide that. You just can't.
Yeah.
And I love that so much. Well, I have loved this conversation so much. I want to make sure that it can fit into our short, listen to the conversation while you're having your coffee sort of promise. And so, man, we could just talk for days about this, but thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on these core values. And I can't wait to see what the feedback from our participants is and how they feel about these core values as well. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Robin Marie, again, for your participation, for just how fully you show up every single time. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.